Well, good morning, everyone. It's about 8 o'clock, and I wasn't planning to make another talking video, but I want to comment on something I read in the HuffPost yesterday. It's written by a woman named Tiffany Torres Williams, and the title of the article is, one moment. Yes, you can cancel holiday plans with your family because of politics. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you might have noticed a couple of days ago I spoke about my own family and how every Thanksgiving we have a family reunion. And I have a very large extended family. Most of them are Trump supporters. And it's great. It's always been a great thing. It's basically a 3-day party with live music and good food and a lot of fun. At least it used to be, anyway. I haven't been in 10 years because I live in Europe, but also the last time I went, I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel welcome anymore. And I just decided I didn't want to spend hours on a plane to feel that way. So I haven't made an effort to go in the last 10 years. And last night I found out that they actually canceled Thanksgiving this year. And I'm not sure why. It's possible that it was because of the election. I don't know. I didn't even get an email this year. So I figured I was uninvited. And I don't really care because my husband and I are just going to go out to lunch. In Germany, Thanksgiving isn't a holiday. So, but anyway, I read with interest this article that's in the HuffPost. And it was about this woman who is half Hispanic and lives in Montana. And her mother and her stepfather have a ranch in Texas, and that's where she had grown up. And on even years, usually they would go to Texas with their kids and spend the holidays. And odd years, they'd stay in Montana at their home and celebrate with her husband's family. And this year, because of the election and the fact that her mother and stepfather are very conservative, and I would guess being half Hispanic, she didn't feel comfortable. Hispanic or Latina, I really don't know. She didn't feel comfortable going to Texas this year, so she decided not to, and she wrote this article. I thought it was a very interesting read. I thought her reasons for not going were quite reasonable. It wasn't just because of politics, but also the whole logistics and having to move your kids to Texas on the plane and not having enough room for everybody. Those alone would be good reasons not to go. But she also doesn't want to hang out with the MAGA crowd. And I lived in Texas for a year before I came to Germany. I still vote in Texas. And I remember what it was like even in 2014. It was a bit weird. I mean, I'm not from Texas. My husband graduated high school in Texas, and his mother lives there. But I don't have a lot of experience with Texas other than the year that I lived there, and it was weird for me to be there. Saw a lot of people walking around with big guns. That made me uncomfortable, so I could understand why she wouldn't want to go. Well, the comments on that were quite funny. It was a lot of right-leaning men on there talking about how you can't cancel your family over votes and politics shouldn't destroy families. Families are forever. And it occurred to me that people get canceled in their families all the time. I mean, excuse me, my husband's an ex-Mormon. He and his ex-wife converted, and he is her second ex-husband. And every time she gets divorced, she alienates the fathers of her children. She did it to my husband. She did it to her first husband. And she's now on her third. And they've managed to stay together. I would imagine that he's been taking notes. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that for about 20 years, they got divorced in 2000, and she alienated his daughters. And even though he paid child support, and no, I had nothing to do with the divorce. I didn't meet him until after. At least not in person. I met him online. But he has a daughter he hasn't seen in 20 years. And he has another that just came around in 2017. And they have rekindled their relationship. That's just one reason why you wouldn't see family at the holidays, because of divorce. But the ex-Mormon, I know that there's a lot of people in that community that get disowned over sexuality, or because maybe they've decided they don't want to be Mormon anymore, or maybe they've done something that's embarrassing to someone in the family. People get uninvited to these things all the time. So I don't understand why some of these folks are so upset and surprised that this year people don't want to break bread with them. Because have they forgotten 4 years ago, when it came time to transfer power, what happened on January 6th? Have we forgotten that a large group of conservatives went to Washington, D.C., erected a gallows for Mike Pence, broke into the Capitol building, smeared shit all over the walls, and forced a lot of legislators into hiding while Donald Trump hung out in a bunker and watched it all? Have they forgotten this? Have they forgotten that people died that day? People were injured. At least one police officer killed himself over it. How many people have PTSD because of this? How many people went to prison because of January 6, 2021? That's just one event in Trump's first presidency. And now we've invited him back. People are frightened, and they have every right to be frightened. Quite a lot of people are really pissed off. I'm pissed off. And I did not want to leave a comment on this article because I really don't like interacting with a lot of the MAGA supporters. I find them to be an insufferable lot. They are usually pretty snarky and rude. And they call names. Some of them really lack critical thinking skills. And I noticed this person had written that, if you voted to literally hurt me, then no, I don't want to spend the holiday with you. And if you're a family member, then that makes it even worse. And I just felt like I had to leave a comment. So I did. And I said, I'm with you because they have forgotten. And then when you disagree with them, instead of speaking to you respectfully and trying to hear why, they call you things like cream puff or snowflake, or they tell you to cry harder or fuck your feelings or whatever else they say. It's rude. It's disrespectful. Who wants to waste their holiday being with people that act like that and are just going to do nothing but be snarky and gloat and rub your face in it? I feel very frightened and upset. I'm afraid that my lifestyle, the way I live, is going to be affected by this. And I'm not even one of the marginalized people, except for the fact that I'm a woman. When I think of people who are not straight, or are not white, or they're not Christian, and what could face them, I don't even know how they must feel, but I can only imagine they must be very frightened. I have respect for that. But I also think of my cousins, some of them, people that I love, and how they probably are behaving right now. I don't want to be around that. I don't want to spend a holiday around people that stress me out, make me angry, make me want to drink more. So I cannot blame people who have decided they're not going to do it this year. It's been a very long, stressful election season, and people need to chill out for their own health, for their own mental health. Maybe this will blow over next year. Maybe it will be all right again. But honestly, if all they've done is said they don't want to spend Thanksgiving or Christmas with you, you probably ought to count yourself lucky if you voted for Trump. That's just how I feel about it. But as they say, administrations come and go. Hopefully that will be true this year, even though Trump has been talking about wanting to stay another term if he survives. So we'll see. But this was a very serious thing, and I don't blame people for being apprehensive about being with family. And this year more than ever, I'm kind of happy that there's an ocean separating me from mine. So those are my thoughts, and I hope you all have a good day. I'm off to do some writing.